In the last episode, we talked about how to spot an immature boss. But today, we're diving into something even trickier, the insecure boss. They may not yell or explode, but their behavior still holds your career hostage. Stick around to the end because not only will I give you 9 key signs, but I'll share ways to protect yourself without losing your mind or your job. Sign number one, insecure bosses micromanage every detail. This isn't about quality control, it's just about control, period. Insecure bosses fear being outshined, so they keep a tight grip on everything. In prior videos, we discussed toxic bosses and immature bosses. These type of bosses have to be center stage. They want everything focused on them. It's all about them. Everything is about them. Number two, they expect perfection, but do not offer support. You're expected to be flawless, perfect. When you ask questions or need clarity, they vanish or get annoyed. Insecure bosses often create a no-win environment. It's not leadership, it's sabotage. When you have a manager that disappear when you have questions and they create no-win situations and environments, in addition to being insecure, many of them are simply incompetent. They cannot answer your questions and they get annoyed because they are immature. And instead of being able to say, you know what? I don't know the answer to that question. Let me check it out. Or maybe so and so knows. They don't do that because they have to be the center of the universe in all things. Insecure managers dismiss your ideas. No matter how solid your suggestions are, they will shut them down. Why? Because your growth threatens them. An insecure boss sees innovation as a challenge to their authority. They'd rather maintain outdated systems than admit someone else has a better idea, period. Insecure managers leave you out. You find out about key meetings after they happen. Projects move forward without your input. I'm talking about projects you're on, where you are a contributing member of the project team. Insecure leaders hoard information and access because they fear being overshadowed. It's not about efficiency, it's about exclusion, and it's done on purpose. I was a part of the senior management team in this particular office. There were 4 of us, the field office manager and 3 second level managers. I was one of the second level managers. And I remember times when I would walk past the office manager's office. She had a glass window for her wall, so you could see through it unless she had her blinds pulled. But anyway, I would see the other 2 managers and her, so 3 of the 4 senior management team members in her office meeting. And I'm looking, going, wait a minute, I don't remember getting an email about a meeting. Did I miss something? This happened more than once. This office manager and the other 2 people on the team did not look like me. I was the only one that looked like me. And if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. But the office manager's secretary looked like me. One day she comes up to me and she says, aren't you a part of the senior leadership team? I said, yes. And she said, I noticed they're in meetings quite a bit and you're not in there. So, sister to sister, she started to let me know when the 3 of them were meeting. She would call me or text me on my personal cell phone. And I would make a point to go over to her desk, which was located outside of the office manager's office. And we pretend like we were talking. I don't know how many times this happened until eventually the office manager waved me in. Yeah, you get left out of meetings. Insecure bosses will avoid giving real feedback. When you ask them, how are you doing? They dodge a question or worse, they don't say anything until something goes wrong. Insecurity often hides behind silence. These managers don't give feedback because they don't know how. And they're afraid you will outgrow them if you intrude. And the goal is if they're here, they want to make sure you here. And if they think you getting here, then they gonna do something to make sure, whether it's withholding information, whether it's withholding feedback, whether it's not letting you know about meetings, they're going to do whatever they can to make sure you do not get here. And what an insecure manager does not want is for you to get here. They don't want it. And they will do what they need to do to make sure you do not get there. An insecure boss. Constantly criticize others in front of you. They complain and tear down other team members behind their backs. It's not just unprofessional, it's a power play. They want to see how you're going to respond to them talking about another person. They want to see, are you going to join them? Are you going to be quiet? Are you going to condone their behavior by being complicit and not saying anything? What are you going to do? So a lot of times this is just a loyalty test. By demeaning others, they're trying to elevate themselves. But really it's just breeding distrust and toxicity. One of the things I like to share with people, this candle, this is not a real one, but let's say it was a real one. Let's say this is a match. This match can take a flame from this candle and light all three of those candles, and this candle's brilliance does not diminish. It's still here. Insecure leaders do not understand that you can allow other lights to shine and still have your same brilliant light. They don't understand that. They don't get it. And it's unfortunate. They don't value your role, experience, or expertise. You're in a position, but constantly you feel like you have to justify it. They make snide comments, minimize your wins, or brush off your contributions altogether. I work for a state agency. The branch was in the process of creating a separate standalone call center. Up until this point, the call center had been included in part of a larger office. I was poised to serve as the office manager of this newly formed office, something that I had done already. I had already been an office manager for a call center. I was also the primary project coordinating manager. We would have all staff meetings with all of the staffs of the larger office. And during those meetings, my manager would provide periodic updates on the progress of the new office. And yes, you heard me correctly. I was the project manager. However, she would give the updates. To give you a little background, I had experiences setting up new offices. I served as project manager for setting up the first call center in our geographical location. I set up a specialty office. I had experience moving offices. So I had extensive experience dealing with the formation of new offices, moving offices, and what have you. During one of our all staff meetings, while giving the update on what was happening, one of the people had some concerns. We were dealing with union employees. Her response was, well, none of us have ever opened a new office before. So this is new to all of us. I allowed her to finish. Then I let the staff know that I was the project manager for the new office and that I'd also serve as the office manager. And that this was the third time that I actually opened a newly formed office within the branch. I went on to provide my plan on how to help the newly reassigned staff get acquainted with the new organizational changes. After that, my boss's boss made sure that I was on the agenda of every meeting, listed as a person to give the updates. Insecure bosses may ask you to do things that feel unethical. It may start small, like stretching the truth a little bit, tweaking a report. Over time, these small asks start pushing against your values. Insecure leaders often prioritize self protection over integrity. If it helps them look good, they'll throw you and your morals under the bus. Insecure managers leave you to figure things out for yourself. They don't give you training, they don't give you guidance. They have to give you expectations of what they want, but they expect you to figure it out. Now, I like figuring out stuff. I like to get a project that people don't really know what to do with. In fact, I was known as the person that if it's a messy project, give it to Colette. But this can create chronic anxiety for some people. And when things go wrong, they'll say, you should have known. It's the perfect setup for blaming somebody else without taking responsibility. Insecure managers do not take responsibility. So, are all these things sounding familiar? You're hearing these things over and over, these patterns, the lack of accountability, blaming folks. These things happen. So, when you look at a confident boss builds you up. An insecure boss builds walls around themselves and puts you on edge. You can work with one, but only if you know the sign and if you know how to protect your peace, which is very important because what you got to understand, this is not about you. This is about them. Everything in their brain on their planet is about them. When working with an insecure boss, remember who you are. Remember what you bring to the table. Document everything that's going on. Sometimes that's going to be hard, but it can be very cathartic to write down the stuff that's happening to you. And not necessarily to you, but around you. Okay. So chronicle the stuff, date it, time it, write down the witnesses, because when the stuff hits the fan, and it usually does hit the fan, you'll feel a lot better that you'll have your information available. The other thing is make sure that you protect your peace. Protect your peace by trying not to internalize this, even though this is happening around you. Do everything you can, get your prayers on, talk to your therapist, your pastor, your best friend, whoever is your support. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.